Hello. Welcome back to another VGC video on Pokemon Champions. You know, Triple Mega Core was going to be the theme for this team. Then I was going to call it Delphox theme because I was basically only Mega evolving Delphox. Then I heard that Delphox apparently won a big tournament. I don't really actually keep up that much with the news, but everybody's been posting videos talking about it. Man, all my late-ass ideas are being taken by better players before I even get to upload them, or play them, or record them, or think of them. Actually, though, my work schedule kind of sucks, so I'm very late to this whole thing. But I am addicted to this damn game, and anything Pokemon related, so the fact that I even came up with a completely unrelated Delphox team, while a better player is also out there collecting some titles for Delphox, well deserved, tells me that both I need therapy and that Delphox is goated. My original team actually had Sneasler instead of Raichu, and Psychic Terrain on Farigiraf because Delphox was running E-Force. I personally don't like manually setting terrain or weather. I just prefer it to be on an ability. It's doable, it just personally messes with my own momentum in the game. I felt that Hyper Voice was actually a lot more useful on Farigiraf, and I severely lacked speed control since I was relying on the speed control given by Delphox Mega Evolving, and before that I was trying to rely on Whimsicott, and it wasn't really working all that well. I was also trying to rely on timing protects and using Ally Switch, neither of which really helps much against like fast spread damage, for example. I got Scarfapult for solid burst damage. Sneasler, beware, I don't think any non-sash set can survive with Psychic Fangs from this thing. Outrage and Phantom Force are both great burst damage, and Dragon Darts for spread chip. Max speeds, nothing outspeeds except for Jolly Pulse because I am adamant alignment. Sash Raichu with a proper EV spread. I accidentally forgot to EV adjust to account for a different set because this used to actually have an Assault Vest for a tankier set. I wasn't running max speed and ended up losing because of it. I was actually outspread by base 100s. It was a bad time. Protect to block Sneasler fake outs, protect Sash. Nuzzle for hacks and speed control, Electro Web for spread damage and speed control. Honestly, considering switching that for Thunderbolt for damage and fake out because, well, what team doesn't run it, let's be honest. I made a whole damn video kind of showcasing Meganium, as did every other content creator with far better teams. This swapped Dazzling Gleam for Earth Power, and honestly, I'm actually kind of considering swapping Protect for Synthesis. I accidentally entered that warm-up challenge with an older set, and Synthesis was actually kind of clutch in a few instances. It heals over half your health, and if you don't have a way to deal with Meganium, Synthesis, Solar Beam Synthesis is actually hella annoying to deal with. All I can say is, thank God your item slot's already taken. Bruh, imagine a bulky Mega Meganium with leftovers in a world with no Sneasler. But Sneasler is a problem, so that's why I have Psychic Fangs on Scarfapult. Charizard was supposed to be my Sunsetter. Mega Evolve, I could set Sun. Have solar power and manual set Sun with Whim, with Tailwind for Sun and speed. Then I saw Mega Delphox's stats. That speed boost was way too juicy to ignore. So I swapped Whim for Delphox, but found that I didn't have the right speed control. So I'm not Mega Evolving Charizard anymore, unfortunately. Bless that dynamic speed with Mega Evolving. I wasn't around during that time, but I heard that it wasn't uncommon to Mega and Protect on the same turn because the speed wouldn't update till the following turn. Here, I can just Mega, get the speed boost immediately, be base 134, and just not get anything out that I want to. Charizard can Mega, and is able to launch strong Heat Waves if it does, but I just found that Speed Burst convenience is a lot more useful than Sun convenience. And, well, speaking of Delphox, because I can't stop speaking about this Pokemon, every furry in the world is eating good in this game, I tell ya what. I legitimately kind of slept on this Pokemon. It was good speed, good special attack, good spread coverage with Heat Wave and E-Force, but I always just thought it was kind of mid. Not mediocre, just uninteresting ability, okay typing, I just never was interested. Both Urshifu forms kind of made me foresee never really wanting to use it, but those Mega stats though, and like Charizard, it also gets access to Scorching Sands. Psychic doesn't really hit much beyond the omnipresent Toxic Weasel, but it is still some pretty good burst damage into whatever it targets. I do like D-Gleam, but spread damage is mitigated by spread by like 70 to 75%, something like that. It's also not stab. You don't really get Terra Fairy Delphox here, so Scorching Sands isn't really stab either, but I also didn't have a way to hit other fire types. D-Gleam certainly doesn't, and well, Earth Power from a Meganium isn't super threatening to any Heat Wave over 90 speed in the sun, and also Levitate as an ability is kind of a nice defensive mechanic to be able to protect your ground weaknesses too. But hey, I could talk about Pokemon for forever. I've talked about this team more than enough. Let's see how this team fares in battle, shall we? So I started off a little bit in casual battles, because honestly I had just woken up and wasn't really quite feeling up to try and rank quite just yet. Wanted to try to wake myself up with a few easy battles first. Plus, I also wanted to actually test the team, since I never actually got to test it. Like I said, I had Sneasler on it to start with. Going up against this team, I don't exactly know what to expect. I see that he's got a Steel type. He's got a Glalie for some reason. I'm not entirely sure that much about Mega Hawlucha, to be fair, so I'm also not entirely sure what to expect in terms of speed. But I feel like Dragapult with a Joy Scarf, it's still going to outspeed literally everything in the game. I think the only thing that really outspeeds Dragapult is like base 150s. There's a few of them, but they're not really used, and the ones that are can't hold a Joy Scarf because they're Megas. So I feel like I'm safe with Dragapult. I also want to bring Delphox just because there is damage with Delphox. There's also a lot of fire weaknesses on his team. I'm a little bit concerned about the Flash Fire on Ceruledge, of course, but I feel like Dragapult could probably take that. I also am not entirely sure what to do about Steelix itself, but I feel like being able to set Sun might be nice, so I still bring Charizard. Honestly, I just don't know what to expect from this team. I'm also going up against somebody in casual ladder, so I mean, I could literally toss any guess out there and I could probably expect it. Against Powrick, I like his eyes. Mine are better though. He sends out Hawlucha and Glalie. Now, I have Helping Hand and Psychic Fangs, and I feel like I could probably take out a Hawlucha. Honestly, I actually considered Ally Switch, just in case he wanted to try to go for like a Freeze Dry or Ice Shard or something. Which I guess they couldn't do an Ice Shard because I got Fridger on the field, but in case I want to go for an Ice move into the into the Dragapult, I considered Ally Switch. Decided to Helping Hand Psychic Fangs instead. The thing is, I actually didn't intend to record this battle. I accidentally hit my record button, but I am glad that I did, and I'm going to keep this in the video, and you will see why. Hawlucha instantly Mega Evolves, which is fine. It's got a little bit of speed, I think. I know it has a whole bunch more defense and attack, so it's able to actually survive this Helping Hand Psychic Fangs, even though I am adamant Dragapult. Doesn't survive it well, but Hawlucha has access to entrainment and already has the ability No Guard. And Glalie gets the move Sheer Cold. So I just lost a Fur Giraffe for no reason. Bruh, the types of things that you see on the casual ladder, I didn't quite process this, but I knew that I was in danger. I knew I needed to have fire types. And I also happen to know that No Guard happens to make it so all my moves also never miss. So I feel kind of confident going for a Heat Wave here. And now is where I start to process what just happened. I don't even select A yet. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell was that. I'm not even mad. That was actually kind of impressive. I'm actually kind of hyped that you can have now No Guard on like Lapras, Glalie, for example. That's going to be amazing. I see all these videos that Wolfie VGC is doing with all like Mega Drampa and what did he have yesterday or the day before yesterday? Starmie, Mega Starmie with Alpharad. Seeing things like that and then seeing Entrainment, No Guard, Sheer Cold, I can't even be upset at it. Switches out the Hawlucha, sends in the Dragapult. Doubt he's Scarf, so I'm probably going to outspeed. And then I Mega Evolve to get my speed boost and my damage boost. I double up into Glalie because it is now the major threat, which is a little weird to say about a Glalie. Dragapult avoids the Heat Wave. That's going to be a common theme here. I don't know if this Dragapult had like Bright Powder or something, but I've never missed so many Heat Waves in my life against one single Pokemon. And if it does have Bright Powder, it's only cutting my accuracy down by 10, so, I mean, 90% of 90 accuracy is only 81. I still feel like I should be able to hit at least one Heat Wave on the stupid Dragapult. I don't know that much about Pinsir. I feel like it might have first impression, so I feel like I need to protect because Delphox doesn't have any defense and the move would be neutral. Coming off of a Pinsir, it would actually hurt a lot, probably knock me out. And then I sent into Charizard just in case. Here's my Protect. And I wasn't actually expecting Pinsir to also Protect. And then Dragapult goes for Phantom Force, which is bad. It actually outspeeds my Pokemon. If it was max speed, that is. I'm not really sure if I want to try to greed if they were trying to go for the Charizard spot because Dragapult was there, or if they're actually trying to take out Delphox. So I'm actually a little bit conflicted here, because I don't really know what their target's going to be. But I feel like in the meantime, I want to try to get this Pinsir off the field. So I feel like I'm probably just safe going for a double Heat Wave here. Pinsir for some reason tries to detect after protecting. Don't know why you have both those moves, but cool. Dragapult avoids a Heat Wave, of course, but so does Pinsir. At least Pinsir was on the field. There really wasn't much excuse. If Dragapult has the Bright Powder, Pinsir doesn't, so I just missed one of them by default for some reason. And then Charizard uses Heat Wave and misses Dragapult again. I don't understand what's happening, but at least I got Pinsir gone. Well, 8% with a burn. So I think that drops it down to 2. Nah, quite a knockout. I do have a Scarfapult. I do have Dragon Darts. I know he's got a Hawlucha in the back. So I feel like I'm kind of okay here, but if I can't knock out this Dragapult, I don't know how safe I actually am. Because it outspeeds my Charizard, so it would be able to Phantom Force, and I wouldn't be able to hit it. So it could probably take out my Dragapult and probably survive a Heat Wave or Solar Beam, probably even an Air Slash, because it's not super effective. So I don't really feel like I'm in the greatest of positions here. I protect Charizard, just because I don't know what this stupid bug is going to try to do. I do Dragon Darts, and it does not take out Dragapults. It does take out Pinsir, though. And then Dragapult goes for Phantom Force again. So now I'm actually a little bit concerned. Because I can't touch it while it's in the other dimension. I am locked onto Dragon Darts. He sends in a Hawlucha. And then forfeits the match for some reason. I feel like he could have won that. Well, let's go into something a little more serious, like ranked battles. How about that? Yeah, this feels a little bit more comfortable. Going up against Danny Kanaya. There's an Incineroar, there's a Milotic. Carbonable might be in a Mega Evolution. Soku Kangaskhan. There's a Slow King Galarian form. Also Sinistcha for redirection. Don't know if this is Trick Room. Feels like it probably could be. I mean, Carbonable is pretty slow, so it might be. I feel like just having outright damage is probably going to be the best. The only thing that actually concerns me is the Milotic, but I do have Solar Beam on Charizard. Being able to stop Fake Outs would probably be nice as well. I don't really care too much about Trick Room, to be honest. I don't mind playing in Trick Room. I have a couple slow Pokemon. I'm just trying to decide if I want to bring Dragapult for that or if I want to bring Meganium. Meganium is slower, but I mean, there's also a lot of Pokemon there that can hit pretty hard. I decided on Dragapult in the end, just because I feel like it can hit a little bit harder on the physical side, plus being able to outspeed everything would be a little bit nicer. Meganium, even in Trick Room, doesn't outspeed too much. Also, this is the first battle where I actually have Raichu. I actually considered Raichu a little bit, but... Oh, I switched to Meganium? I don't remember having done that. Oh, wait, no, I remember this battle. This one is an interesting battle. Not to spoil it, but it's well worth a watch. He sends in Slowking and Incineroar. Of course, Fake Out is an option. Trick Room is now an option as well. I have all my damage on the field. I don't care about Intimidate. My Pokemon are special attackers. The thing is, though... I don't know if I want to Mega Evolve Charizard. I want the Sun. But at the same time, I don't want Fake Out to happen, and I can get more damage out of Delphox, and I have Scorching Sands. So, you can see why I was saying earlier I don't really evolve Charizard anymore, just because it's more convenient for me to have extra speed and extra power, rather than having the Sun. Switch into for a draft to block whatever Fake Out the stupid Incineroar is going to try to do, and I feel like it probably will. I got some fast Pokemon on my side. He tries. Doesn't work. do a little more than half. And instead of Trick Room, it goes for Wonder Room. This swaps the defensive stats around. That doesn't really mean much, I don't think. It just means that Delphox is actually more tanky on the physical side instead of the special side. So I actually kind of welcome that. But at the same time, it's like I don't actually know what their defenses are gonna be. So it's like I just want to do damage. Helping Hand. Scorching Sands. Let's get rid of Incineroar. Doesn't quite manage it though. Actually, I was kind of surprised at how little that did. I was expecting a knockout. So that's got to be one hell of a tanky Incineroar. Flare Blitz does just over half. And burns. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? I can't get any burns with my Heat Waves except for a Pinsir that's already about dead. But sure, burn my Furdraft. I appreciate it. And Chilly Reception just for a slow pivot, I guess. You still never set up Trick Room, so I'm not entirely sure what your intentions were here. But if you do go into Crabominable, you do at least get the defense boost, so there's that. Also, why is Crabominable so hard to say? And you send in Kangaskhan instead. You still can't fake out. I still have Armor Tail on the field. I don't really know what that Slowking was here for, but I'm not complaining. I'm just here to do some damage. Try to go for the Heat Wave because I really do want to get a burn on this Kangaskhan if I can get one. Also, I know Kangaskhan got nerfed and no longer has access to Power Up Punch, so it's a threat, but not a major threat. You know what I mean? You didn't even bring Crabominable to begin with. I don't know why. I feel like that actually could have done a lot of decent damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got Fire Taps on my team. But if you would have set up Trick Room, you could have got some decent damage, I feel like. Not very effective on Milotic, no burn on the Kangaskhan. And Body Slam, which I didn't consider. It hits twice, and that also means that the 30% chance also happens twice, so it's a 60% chance to paralyze. That's actually very, very annoying. Foul Play doesn't do as much as I was hoping, but it does a decent chunk, and Milo has leftovers. Milo, I'm actually not that worried about, despite having fire types on my team. I feel like Kangaskhan is more of a threat. At this point, I'm not really sure if I want to go for Foul Play to keep chipping the same damage, or if I want to go for Hyper Voice to try to chip both of them. The thing is, leftovers is a bit annoying, but I don't really care that much about it. I can't Mega my Charizard anymore for Solar Beam, but I do still have a Meganium in the back, so I feel like Milotic I can probably ignore for now. I'm just going to try to chip up this Kangaskhan as much as I can. I don't really mind if it takes off for a draft. It gives me a free switch, and I want to make sure that my Delphox stays as safe as possible. Unfortunately, though, Drain Punch does, like, no damage. So for a draft, just sticks around. And Muddy Water. That also would be annoying because of accuracy drops. But I'm pretty sure the free draft survives this. Yeah, I want the free switch and I don't get it. But I do get a little bit of extra chip. And for some reason that actually does more damage than I was expecting against Kangaskhan. So I'm guessing that the Wonder Room actually is kind of helping me in that regard as well. I don't really know certain Pokemon's like base defenses off the top of my head. I know some of them, a lot of the ones that I use, because I know how quickly I can get knocked out. But I don't know anything about their defenses and what happens if they get switched. So yeah, my damage calcs are kind of all out of whack right now. But I just go for another Hyper Voice. If they want to continue ignoring for a giraffe, cool. If they want to knock it out, cool, I get a switch. And looks like they just continue ignoring. Also, it looks like Parental Bond doesn't also target the next Pokemon in line, which makes sense, I guess. They also have Life Dew, speaking of annoying. But I can just undo that with a Hyper Voice. I think I did like extra 3%. So I am out damaging their healing with that. But I do finally get Fur Giraffe knocked out. Unfortunately, my Delphox is also gone. So I'm down to 2 Pokemon. They still have 4. I am in a horrible position. I can no longer Mega Evolve. I'm stuck with a base Meganium and a base Charizard. I don't really know how I'm going to be able to win this. Effectively, I can't do too much with Solar Beam because I can't just use the move. I have to charge first. Heat Wave is damaged, but it's not boosted. Air Slash might flinch, but that's only if I can outspeed. I'm only base 100. I'm pretty sure Kangaskhan's not, but I mean, I'm also fairly sure I'm not max speed. Actually, can't remember now. I think I might be modest. Maybe I'm timid. But at this point, I kind of already accepted defeat, and I'm just trying to go for whatever damage I can actually do. They withdraw Milotic, which makes kind of sense, because like it could be your win condition against this Charizard. Muddy Water, Spam, I'm guessing. They sent in Incineroar, which is already kind of weak-ish. And they really try to knock out Charizard, and I'm very close to dead here. But I do have Weather Ball, and it's just enough to knock out Kangaskhan. They do have a Fake Out, but the thing is I have Protect on both my Pokemon, so... yeah, get ready for the most exciting turn of VGC of all time, Double Protect. Of course, they have to think about what Pokemon they want to send in. They still have 2 others. They send in the Slowking. I don't know if they're trying to set up Trick Room or if they're trying to set up Wonder Room. They have a lot of HP, so I don't feel like I can really do anything. Other than trying to go for a Heat Wave or Air Slash and knowing my luck, it's going to miss. So I just protect Charizard. Protect Meganium. Block the Fake Out. And I'm also curious to see what this Slowking's gonna do. And it goes for Slow's Wave. Well, now that I know that you have that, fortunately for me, that doesn't hit my Pokemon, but it does knock out the Incineroar. You have Sludge Wave, so I immediately consider you to be threat number 1. I don't like poison types. I actually like poison types, I just hate them recently because Meganium has become my new favorite Pokemon and I can't ever Mega Evolve it in front of a poison type because I just die. So low-key, I kinda don't care about this Milo. I'll just chip at it with Air Slash. I switched to Slowking? Must be the next turn that I go for Milo. I double up into Slowking, apparently. In my defense, I recorded this like 3 days ago, and I'm doing the post-commentary for this a lot later, so I kinda low-key kinda forgot a little bit of things that happened here. They go for Life Dew. I also get to learn Speed Tiers here, so I learn that they are faster than Meganium. But they also don't heal that much. It's only 25%, and Earth Power I know will do a lot more. So they can't out-heal my damaging. And Slowking flinches. So now here's where I'm starting to consider using Solar Beam. I selected it on Charizard. I go back. And I decided I'm gonna actually Air Slash Slowking since Charizard will move first. I can take out the Slowking. Milo can do whatever it wants to. I don't think it can take out Meganium, so Meganium's the one that goes for the Solar Beam. Plus, it's also Stab. So I feel like I should be able to take out Milo as long as it can't two-shot Meganium. And they go for Icy Wind. Charizard survives at 6. My speed is dropped, and now I'm actually a little bit scared. I start absorbing some light, and now I feel like this Milo could probably outspeed Charizard. I don't know speeds here. But I'll see if you'll let me actually attack you. I'll just go for the Air Slash. Turns out I'm actually still faster. And I also get a flinch. Again. I am so damn lucky in this battle, you have no idea. I went from 2 against 4 to 2 against 0. All that they have left is this Milo, and I already know I do more than 15% with Air Slash. As long as it doesn't miss, I am golden. I do not deserve this win. I will take it though. Charizard uses Air Slash, and it's just enough to knock out the Milotic. Somehow, Meganium and Charizard just won this for me. I don't even understand. On to the next. I have no words. The last battle actually got me a new trainer icon, which I will wear proudly. Also, I renamed my team from Sneasable to Try Mega Sun. Still a useless name. Battle number 3, and I see a Sneasler. And I have rage in my eyes. There is also most likely going to be a Sun team. There's a Charizard with a Venusaur. Makes me think Sun. Also, there is a Rotom Wash, which, honestly, that's usually only really used on Sun. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely strong, but Hydro Pump isn't the greatest of moves, so people don't really, I think, use it. I think the Oven one is the more commonly used one. Garchomp's a bit annoying, a little bit of Fake Out. I can respond with my own Fake Out, and I have Sash. One thing I really need to be concerned about is if they do leave with Sneasler. Sneasler does outspeed Raichu, and will have a faster Fake Out. I feel like pretty much anything I bring here would be decent. I just don't really know how to bring them, if that makes sense. Now, I could use for a Giraffe to stop their priority, and I can also give myself a bit of a damage boost. Dragapult itself, I mean, there's a Sneasler. I have a move specifically for Sneasler, so it's like that's kind of an obvious bring. It also does pretty decent against the Garchomp. And it's not terrible against the other Pokemon, other than Incineroar. It doesn't really touch it very well. And then bring my fire types in the back, since they're going to probably set up Sun anyways. I mean, the only thing to be worried about is that Rotom, but everything else I feel like I'm pretty good up against. And push comes to shove, if I do end up Mega Evolving Charizard, then I can go for Solar Beam into that. Haley, Garchomp, and Sneasler. I have a Raichu and Dragapult. I probably shouldn't ignore Garchomp, but I don't care about the Garchomp. I see a Sneasler on the field. My Dragapult is here for one thing and one thing only. Goodbye, Sneasler. I really hope you're not sashed. I protect. And they can't fake out the ghost, so they fake out into my protect. Get blocked. Protect my sash. And goodbye, Sneasler. Now sashed, even better. Of course, it leaves my Pokemon wide open to a Dragon Claw and Earthquake. They choose Dragon Claw, and goodbye, Dragapult. Well, at least I still have Sash on my Raichu. I traded my Dragapult for a Sneasler. It probably wasn't worth it, but I feel better. The thing is, I also know that my Charizard is base 100 and Garchomp is 102. So it's like, I want to send in Charizard, but I also don't like the potential Jolly max speed rock slides coming my way. So I feel like it's probably not best to send in my Charizard just yet. but also because I'm sitting in Delphox and I need to be able to outspeed a base 102 Pokemon, that means I most likely will have to Mega Evolve. So, once again, it's another battle where I'm not Mega Evolving Charizard when I built this team as a Sun team, meaning to Mega Evolve Charizard almost every time, and I don't think I've done that once. Don't want to take an Earthquake to the face. And since I'm going to be giving myself... I could be giving myself Levitate, I choose to Protect instead. But I want to make sure that Raichu isn't just going to be brought down to Sash for no reason and then die because of a Heat Wave. Plus, having a late game Fake Out would be kind of nice. Not to mention, I can't really do anything to Garchomp because my only attacking moves besides Fake Out are Nuzzle and Electro Web. And so I can't actually touch Garchomp. So until it's off the field, I'm going to leave Raichu in the back for a bit. And they immediately pull the trigger and Mega Evolve. Cool. That just means I get Sun. That's all that really means. I'm pretty sure that you're actually still base 100, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like you get any speed boost or anything. You literally just set the Sun for me, and I will not complain. You go for Dragon Claw, I protected. I'm guessing that Raichu's not much of a threat to the Garchomp. Makes sense. I can't touch you. You shouldn't be scared. Heat Wave is a bit annoying, but actually does less than half to Charizard, which I was a little bit surprised by. I thought Charizard had a little bit more special attack than that. Plus, it was Heat Wave in the Sun, so I feel like even as a resisted move, my Charizard doesn't have that much bulk. I feel like it should have almost knocked me out, actually. But now it's Charizard's turn to protect, because again, Garchomp is actually faster. I thought I protected here. Oh, that is not a good move. I should have protected there with Charizard, but I went for Heat Wave for some reason. I go for Psychic because I want burst damage. I can't do anything with Scorching Sands against Charizard, and I feel like they were going to swap, and they do. And it's into Rotom. So it's a good thing I didn't go for Scorching Sands because it would have hit Levitate and then done nothing. And again, I say that I should have protected with Charizard. It's a good thing I didn't. But I absolutely should have. They protected their Charizard. I Psychic into the Rotom and do just over half. And even though it's resisted, and Rotom is a lot bulkier than Charizard, easy knockout on the swapped in Rotom. That was the only thing I was actually scared about. And now I feel like I kind of have this game. And as it turns out, so does my opponent. Unfortunate switch, but I can't complain. I'm actually kind of shocked that this team being built last second, literally, being built in the middle of this video, still managed to get 2 forfeits. I'm actually kind of shook here. I don't even hit the A button, move over to quit battling. I'm actually just sitting here like, bruh. But that is this team. I don't know why you would, but if you do want to try to make it for yourself, there is the team ID on screen. I feel like there's a lot of work that can be done. Honestly, I'm actually considering swapping out Meganium for a different Mega evolution. I'm even considering swapping out Dragapult for a different Pokemon, but that's this team. Tell me what you think. I feel like it needs a lot of improvement. If you guys have any suggestions for improving this team, let me know. Anytime I try to make it an improvement, I feel like it's either making it super worse or it's just barely enough that I can scrape through the next battle and then struggle after that. So I don't really know how I feel about this team. I like it. I really like Delphox. Delphox is goated, but the rest of the team is just there to support the Delphox, I guess. But that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If so, feel free to drop a like or even a dislike. It doesn't hurt my feelings, I promise. Hit the subscribe, get notified. I also want to say thanks for all the support until the Meganium video. 500 views and got quite a few likes, so I appreciate it. And until next time, take care.